And I'm looking for reasons not to say that this is the best triple in the world, but I don't think I can find one. After nearly a decade of saying that Westmalle is the best triple in the world, I'm going to have to reevaluate that. So once again, I'm giving my body to science, and this time for some pretty crazy experiments, because I am about to drink 16 9-ish% beers and then tell you what they all taste like, as if I'll still be awake at the end of this. Usually I do the intro once I film so I can give you some teasers. I don't know what I'm going to be like in about an hour's time, so I'm doing it right at the start, particularly because there's something we need to get out of the way right at the beginning, which is what even is a Belgian triple, because there's lots of yeasty Belgian beers out there in the world. Now, the triple was invented, according to the stories, at Westmalle, a Trappist brewery in northern Belgium. The story goes that this was a response to the Czech Pilsners that were getting very popular in the early 20th century. If that's true, swing and a miss, Belgium. A 9.5% yeast-forward ale to compete with a 4.5% malt-forward lager. I mean, it's very Belgian, to be fair to you. That's why we love you in terms of brewing. So the main question that people ask about triples is, what's the difference between a triple and, say, like a Belgian strong, so something like Duvel? Now, if you look at, I think I've got one here, yep. This is the Cicerone sort of simple handbook. They don't seem to know. All of the top trumps of the Belgian triple and the Belgian strong ale are essentially the same. Same colour, same bitterness, and same alcohol. Even the flavour and the balance is pretty similar as well. Even the time that they were invented is identical. So Cicerone don't know. For me, the difference is going to be complexity. I think that a Belgian strong really goes very often for drinkability. So there's going to be that balance. If you watch last week's video, we'll talk all about that. That balance of malt and of yeast and of hop. With a triple, it's all about the yeast. It's all about the phenols and the esters, the pear drops, the nail polish, the clove, the green apple, all the kind of flavours we get from the yeast. That's what I'm going to be looking for in this. And as a result, I'm going to be looking for yeast complexity in all of these beers. I have got lots of different beers on this table. Triple in Belgium is perceived as quite a similar style. Everyone makes one. It's all a bit boring. Elsewhere in the world, we do all kinds of crazy stuff. So I am, in fact, one of the nations that asks for us to go to their nation all the time is Canada. Finally, I've got a Canadian beer in here. This is Le Fin du Monde. And then we've even got like foraged herbs going into this one from Duration. So there's going to be lots of variation. On to the rules of the taste test. If you haven't seen these before, I will be marking the beers out of 30. 10 for aroma, 10 for palate, and 10 for aftertaste. Palate involves texture and flavour. Aftertaste also includes the structure. Again, video last week. Let's get this over with and probably get me to bed. Right, as always, left to right. I know the beers, I bought the beers, but I do not know the order in which they are being poured. Quite the difference on this final beer in terms of head retention with the others. Nice rich gold colour, lots of fluffy head. That's all good so far. Oh yeah. Oh baby. You're going to hear me say croissant a lot today. You usually do. But it smells like croissant and clove and banana. Really ripe foam banana sweets. Ah, delicious. Loads of carb. Really oily, bittersweet finish. Foam banana for days. But it's kind of just about kept in check by some more, by a decent bit of bitterness actually that's lingering. That is stunning. Aroma 8. Palate. Good carbonation, oily 8. Oh my god, what's happening here? Aftertaste. Yeah, 8. Ah, that's really good. That's unnerving. Do I just love triples too much to not be biased here? Right, bit paler. Still plenty of fluffy head. Gentle haze to that one. Gentle haze. That's okay. A lot of these bottles are going to be they're going to be bottle conditioned, so there might be a bit of yeast sediment in there. Not going to mark it down for that. Right, drier, earthier. Tiny hint of metallic. In fact, quite a bit of metallic kind of character to it. But underneath that, there's green apple and banana. Yeah, there would be a nice aroma, but just a hint of kind of metallic, so oxidation or something. Much thinner, much lighter, much more drinkable. Like, well, not drinkable because that I wanted to finish that, but much more, I guess, light in flavour, brighter, zippier, lagerier even. Like there's not really a finish to it. There's quite like it snaps, it finishes. There's not a lot of bitterness, not a huge amount going on there. Ooh, sherbety. Yeah, real lemon rind. Yeah, lemon sherbet kind of thing to that. There is some banana and some green apple and none of like the fennels, none of the clove, that kind of thing. Whoa! Lots of bitterness. Lovely, smooth, velvety kind of palate from those fine bubbles. Tasty beer, not very triple-y. More, I would say, along the Belgian strong blonde kind of character. So that's called 20, right? As always in these taste tests, 20 is a good score. That's what I'd be like. That's a decent beer. I'd go back to the bar. So that's a lovely beer, just not very triple-y. Maybe a shade too bitter. We'd have to see how that would go over a whole bottle. But okay, number four, the only one without head. A little bit concerning when it comes to what should be a very highly carved beer. A megaton of oxidation to that. Sherry, caramel, caramelized bananas, which is very pleasant. But yeah, just oxidation is the main character on that beer. I think that's an old beer, a very old beer. Now, I dug the Le Fin du Monde out of my stash, and I'd had it for a couple of years, so I think it's probably that. It's aged really nicely, but it's lost a lot of the fresh triple kind of character which you really want. Don't age triples, by the way. People do it, don't do it. This was a mistake. Toffee, banana, sherry. Now, you know what? I'm not going to do this because it could be a really tasty beer fresh. I'm just going to say those are the tasting notes. It's a nicely aged beer, but you shouldn't age triples. Next round. Right, round number 2. Head on this one is starting to die, unlike the other. Oh, bloody hell, look at that. Unlike the others. Whoa! That's super zesty as well. That smells like one from the first round. Like it's got that lemon sherbet kind of thing. I think most of these beers are probably hopped with German hops like Hallertau or something, and they're really getting the lemon out of it. Green banana, really, really green, like not ripe, not thick and kind of squishy at all. And some softer bready kind of tones. Not croissant, just bready. Pretty thin to start with, and it builds and it builds and it builds. There's a nice bitterness, but it's in check. It's got a nice structure to it. It keeps building, it ends on a high. Just lacking a little bit of kind of malt depth and character. It just feels a little bit thin, maybe a shade dry, but lots of lovely aroma and flavour to it. So this one's much darker in colour, gentle haze to it. That's slightly, like, really rich, almost Christmas cakey. Almost Christmas cake, like dried fruits and marzipan vibes. Yeah, see, that's almost the opposite. That's all malt character, and it's lacking a bit, lacking a little bit of yeast character. It's not got many esters or phenols really going on. It's all about a kind of raisin marzipan thing. So 2 entirely different beers that scored exactly the same. Okay, this one's really pale, probably the palest we've had. And yeah, gentle haze as well. Right, that smells like a classic triple. So we're back to what we had on that very first beer, which was foam banana sweets, clove, croissant tea, a little bit jammy, a little bit jam croissant. Wow, that cleans up really fast, which makes it really drinkable. Just a little bit thin on the finish. I'd want it to be a little bit more lingering, a little bit more oily like that first one was. But otherwise, that is a perfect triple. So aroma and palate are just as good as the first one. If I knocked it down a point, it would be personal taste because I really loved the finish of that first one. So I'm going to give that an 8 as well. Yeah, great beer. I'm not sure whether we've ever had a 25 in these blind taste tests, but I've got a good feeling. I've got a feeling it might happen. It could have been that first one. Right, and this one smells pretty classic as well. Lots of, I describe this one as heady, you know, a little bit like, whoo. So maybe some alcohol, some nail polish kind of character to it. Kind of makes you think you're going to have a headache the next day, but it's going to be worth it. Yeah, nice, but it's doing what this one did. Died off really fast, but instead of being nice and clean and crisp, I'm left with a little bit of, I don't know, watery caramel? Is that a thing? Who would water down caramel? Can you water down caramel? I guess you must be able to, because caramel is water and sugar. Yeah, just a slightly disappointing finish. So, you know, 20, again, decent beer. By no means the best in this taste test. Okay, halfway. Halfway. Typos are common, but I think I'm talking normally. Round 3, and beers have been given a mliko pour. A very Czech pour on that one, but I'm okay with it. I love head on beer. Head is your friend. It protects the beer from oxidation. It helps with the creamy feel of the beer. It's important to have it, so I'm excited about that one. Delicious. Absolutely wonderful. Vanilla. Vanilla ice cream on bananas. Threw some raisins in. Just marvellous. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my God. It's absolutely beautiful, but there is so much vanilla again at the end. What? I mean, it's not very drinkable because it's so lingering, but god damn, is that an experience. Beautiful aroma. Beautiful palate, really creamy, oily, but still it cleared up really nicely for the aftertaste. That's another 8. Should there be vanilla in a triple? I've not really experienced that before. That's what blind tasting really helps do. Like, it gets you out of your box. It removes expectations. Could mark it. No, I'm not going to mark it down. It's bloody delicious. Mliko pour. Well, it's died down a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah, that's really nice. There is that hint of vanilla that there was in this one as well. But it's a bit more, well, much more spicy. Like, I'm picking up something a little bit herbal. Loads and loads of brioche, croissant-y kind of character. Bits of, well, no, plenty of banana. Yeah, and a little bit clovey as well. A little bit Hefeweizen-y. It's more complex than exciting, I guess. No, not as creamy as I was expecting from the head. Maybe quite a lot of carbonation was knocked out of that. Really nicely balanced. Decent little... Well, no, it's not bitter. It's almost yeast bite rather than bitterness. Just a nice, clean, assertive finish. Just, yeah, shade thinner than I thought it was going to be, but gorgeous aroma. Was it a shade thin? Yeah, I think that was a shade thin. And aftertaste was 8 as well. So, complex, spicy, sweet. I feel like my fingers are getting a bit slower. Woo! That is hazy. That's a New England level of haze, that one. And that smells very different to everything else. So firstly, lemon, slightly banana-y, clovey, but muted. Lemon is the overarching thing. There's something underneath this. It smells slightly salty or something? Umami? Not sure. No idea. But then it tastes like quite a nice standard triple. Am I going mad? Does that smell slightly like the sea? Don't know. Slightly strange aroma. But everything else was very good. Straight 7s. Wait, what am I on? Oh, God. Yeah, last one of this round. Probably for the best. Right, crystal clear. Lovely tight white head. That smells like synthetic lemon. Well, not you know the stuff you get in like the lemon-shaped plastic squirties, like not fresh lemon juice. Yeah, it smells really good. Just doesn't smell real. What is life? Whoa. Whoa, loads of carbonation on that. I could knock some of that out and try again. No, it's still there. Yeah, really, really highly carbed, overcarbed. That kind of synthetic lemon thing is still there. It's not unpleasant, it just feels a bit weird. the high carb really knocks out any chance of complexity, really, because there's just kind of carbonic bite to it, just fizzes on your tongue. But there is some nice yeasty character, there is some banana and definite green apple kind of thing going on. Not well structured, you know, just really kind of jarring. Lacking structure. Or structure. Maybe that's Belgian for structure. Structure. Could be Flemish. We've got 4 to go. They all look beautiful. Another Mliko pour here at the end. Crystal clear, fluffy white head, and aromas of banana, apple skin, nail polish, clove. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly that. Maybe a bit lemony as well, a little bit fresh. See, this is where I think the Belgians get there. We're slightly bored of triples kind of thing, because everybody makes them. They all do, well, not all the ones that I've been tasting, but a lot of the classics do, and I bet that's a classic. I don't think it's Westmalle. I don't think I've had Westmalle yet. It could still be here. That is just a textbook triple. All I would say was just a little bit too light and thin for me. So it's an 8 on the aroma. It's a 7 on the palate for that reason. And it's a lovely finish. Lingering phenolic. Really lovely beer. Okay, come on, Johnny. Just 3 more beers to keep it together. Pretty similar. It's got that lemony character. Smells drier? Maybe a little booziness. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Actually tastes very different to that one. So it's oilier, it's thicker, it's fuller, it's sweeter almost. I thought it was going to be dry. It's actually got a lovely building finish to it. That kind of vanilla thing actually coming through just a touch, like we had in the start of the previous round. Ooh, is that another 24? Oh my God, Leoman. What am I doing with my life? I can't write lemon anymore. Lemony. Lemony. Boozy. Just a shade. Chardonnay. Shade 2 lingering. Longering. Fuck it, that'll do. Penultimate beer. A bit darker. Still hazy. Oh dear. It smells like an ESB that's had a bad fermentation. Kind of lemony, earthy, and then just hints of nail polish and stuff underneath. The wrong malt character, the wrong hop character, and not a lot of yeast to save it. That's the first kind of flawed beer we've had in this entire test, which is, yeah, this has got to be the highest average we've had. Like the Belgians, I think when they brew triples, brew it with respect generally. Okay, that looks a bit better. Whoa, well, really hazy, but the right colour. Oh dear. Oh, we're going out with a whimper. Just not a huge amount of yeast character to that. Just slightly meaty and lemony. Not great. Just kind of citrusy, but also earthy and a little bit tannic. The aroma's better. Palate's the same. The aftertaste isn't, like, quite tannic. Why did they pick this order? Like, because I was having so much fun. Okay, the booze is talking. I was having so much fun. There's only 4 I wouldn't go back to the bar for, and 2 of them came as the last 2. So while I'm going through these results, I'm going to be drinking some of the good ones, because that was dispiriting, Belgium. Well, presumably Belgium, there's some English stuff in there as well. Whoever it was, wasn't great. Okay, so I went away for a sit down and a quick moule frite just to gather myself. Got my glasses on because things have got a little bit blurry. And the order that the beers were poured have been laid out in front of me. I've also obviously got the spreadsheet, so I'm just going to unhide the column that tells me the order. Order in some descending order, right. So we've got 3 on 24, a 3-way tie for the winner. Wow. Wow. Okay, so Straffa Hendrik, which I've always enjoyed. I didn't know it was that good. St. Bernardus, and then the one that surprises me is Castile. I like Castile's beers. I didn't think I'd like them that much. They've always seemed to me as being a little bit trashy classy. I don't know. It's like Five Guys. It's like, well, it's a little bit better than you. Great, I'm going back. Vanilla banana ice cream heaven. That's what I've written for that beer. Yeah, the booze was getting to me. Westmalle in second place. Wow, that was in my top 5 beers in the world. In fact, I literally just helped write a book called The Best Beers in the World. And I put Westmalle Tripel in, didn't I? Westmalle Tripel, page 236. Oh, it wasn't me that put it in, but I would have put it in. Castile does not feature. Clearly it should. Let's look at the bottom. So, yeah, Le Fin du Monde. I just aged that out for too long. I have a stash in my garage, which is also not where you should keep your beers. I thought I'd put it in there to please the Canadians, and all I've done is offend them. So I do apologise. I bet this beer was beautiful before I aged it for 4 or 5 years. La Guillotine, so those are the people that make Delirium Tremens. I've never loved that beer, and it wasn't great. Rochefort. Lots of people like the Rochefort Tripel. It's their newest beer. There was much fanfare when they launched it. It's just not very good. I'm sorry. Arkle, that's disappointing. A lot of people tell me they love Arkle. I've thought it was better than that. That's not even a beer I go back to the bar for. Calmly, I've never loved, but it's always been fine. Just shy of getting to the bar. Seed Sleep. So that is the salty one. This was the forest one, right? What have they put in there? A botanical Belgian triple. Local fireweed. Bear with me while I Google what fireweed is. What is fireweed? So I guess they're saying it tastes of fireweed, really. Green or black tea, 2 very different tasting things. I got saltiness. I've got to be honest. Less fire, more seaweed. I'm going to clear the deck and we're going to have a little look at the 3 winners one more time, and I'm going to tell you which one is best. Let's see. I'm gonna finish on the Castile because that's the one that surprised me most. I'm going to start with the St. Bernardus because that one surprised me least. Yeah, it's just a classic aroma. You walk into a Belgian bottling line, that's what you're expecting to smell. Lemony, croissanty, jammy, lovely. Straffer, you know, when I first tasted this, it was the first beer I tasted. I was young, I was naive, I was sober. And actually there's the teeniest hint of kind of caramel. It's not meaty, but it's savoury. It just takes away from what I want from a triple, which is all out, heady, delicious esteriness on that aroma. So it doesn't smell quite as good as the St. Bernardus. Okay, so here's the beer that is a real surprise. This is something I really want to do in all of my blind taste tests. If something surprises me, I need to go back in and give it a proper appraisal. So I'm going to give it a good pour. I'm going to sit on it for a bit. I mean, it looks like an absolutely stunning beer, doesn't it? It's crystal clear. It's clearly filtered. It's got to be. But a beautiful white fluffy head on it. Damn, yeah. It's got everything that the St. Bernardus has, everything that the Westmalle has, with goddamn vanilla on it. I mean, is this the strongest of the... Yeah, this is the strongest. Of course it's the strongest. So it's 11%. It's an 11% triple. Is it worth the extra 1.5 over Westmalle or over this one? I think this is 9. Oh no, it's 8. So it's 3% more. It's a whole table beer more of alcohol. And it's worth every percent. It's stunning. It's stunning in so many ways because so much complexity to that aroma. Everything you'd want from a classic triple plus vanilla. Why wouldn't you want that? It's moussey and creamy on the body. The head's sticking around. Look how beautifully that's made. And then on the finish, it is super bright and crisp. The carbonation is perfect. The dryness is perfect. The hopping is perfect. It's all Belgian hops. And this is why I do these blind taste tests, because I would never have bought a Castile beer while in Belgium, while in the UK. I'd always be reaching for Westmalle or for St. Bernardus, even for Straffer Hendrick, you know. I just passed over Castile completely, and yet that is the best beer. And I'm looking for reasons not to say that this is the best triple in the world, but I don't think I can find one. I think that after nearly a decade of saying that Westmalle is the best triple in the world, I'm going to have to reevaluate that. Cheers. What's the Belgian for cheers? I knew that. I knew that an hour and a half ago. I knew it. It's going to come. Just as I walk off camera, it's going to come. Prost.